Baina TV, connected to your world.
Hello, good evening and welcome to another edition of Baina Weekend News. I'm Khadija Kubra Keilani. We bring you all the news stories making headlines during the week. Now here are some top stories of the week. Tension looms at Aboabo over the enskinment of a new youth leader. Also, Education Minister advised students to stay away from betting. And in politics this week, Mahama leads Bawumia in 7 major Zongo constituencies, according to a Global Info report. And 2024 budget approval rescheduled as majority MPs abandon parliament. Details of the stories comes up shortly. Thank you for staying with us. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Baina TV. Now to our first story. The youth of Aboabo in Asokore Mampon municipality in the Ashanti region has threatened to cause mayhem if a youth leader is imposed on them. The youth in a press conference held yesterday expressed their reservation and grievances, saying that they will resist any attempt by leaders of Aboabo to enskin a new youth leader who is not their choice and is not fit to become their leader.
The youth of Aboabo No. 2 community expressed their strong displeasure with the recent plans to impose a youth leader, Sarkin Samari, on them. In a statement signed by the convener of the group, Tawfiq Abdul Ghani, the youth said they were not consulted in the selection process. The youth further said that the community has a long and proud history of self-determination, and the latest development is a betrayal of that tradition. They called for an investigation into the selection process to determine how the alleged imposed leader was chosen without the involvement, knowledge and consent of the community.
Concerned youth of Aboabo for immediate release. Aboabo No. 2 expressed displeasure with imposed youth leader. Kumasi Ashanti, 29th November 2023. The Aboabo No. 2 community today expressed its strong displeasure with the recent plans to impose Sarkin Samari as the community youth leader. The youth of the community have not been consulted in the selection process, and the plan Sarkin Samari does not represent the views of values of the community youth. The said Sarkin Samari they are trying to impose on us does not represent the interests of the youth. We are not giving any say in this selection process, and we believe that this is serious affront to our community autonomy. The community has long proud history of self-determination, and the latest development is seen as betrayal of the tradition. The community is calling for the imposed Sarkin Samari to with immediate effects reject the said appointment in order to save for himself the little respect given him by the youth of the community.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Education, Dr. Educhum, has advised Guinean students to stay away from betting and focus on their education. The minister made the call in a speech he delivered at the 9th annual lecture organized by Baraka Policy Institute in Accra on Thursday, 29th November 2023.
The 9th annual lecture of Baraka Policy Institute, which was chaired by Na Al-Hassan Andani, was organized under the theme Towards Achieving the Sustainable Development Goals on Education, Tackling Socio-Economic Forces Against Progress in Ghana. In his address, the Minister of Education, Dr. Educhum, cautioned students to stay away from betting and focus on their education. The minister also underscored the need to reform and refine the education system so that it will respond to the needs of the 21st century. The minister questioned why educated Ghanaians cannot use their education to transform Ghana. If in the past, illiterate farmers were able to plant cocoa in various parts of the country and use it to build a middle-class economy for themselves and made Ghana the largest producer of cocoa in the world.
And I'll tell you this group of people who never stepped into the classroom changed the course of history of our nation. They made Ghana the largest producer of cocoa. Cocoa became the mainstay of our economy from before independence and after independence. Some of them went back to their towns and built story buildings. The cocoa farmers changed the boundaries of Kumasi, Amakum, Bantam, Asafo. They built the story buildings there. Some of them even moved on into the transport business. There's a man from Kumaru. He had a fleet of buses. At the back of every one of them, he wrote, "Oh yes." Those were the only two words he knew in the English language. But he was wealthy. He had attained the middle class status. So our generation of educated people cannot sit here and just lambast each other and give up hope and say that our nation cannot and will not become a transformative one, where we fight against poverty and win, where we fight against unemployment and win, where we create better opportunity for our people. And this 21st century, there's no better way to create a more robust middle class and create the equivalent of the old Ghanaian farmer who did everything possible to change his or her fortune, even though he didn't go to school.
According to the minister, through digitalization, Ghana can do more and that there are better days ahead. He further questioned why Ghana cannot do it if the Vietnamese and other Asian countries have done it.
The needs of the 21st century Ghana is a place where we're able to create a more robust middle class, create an education system that, through innovation, solve problems, which gives us the opportunity to look at our challenges with a new set of eyes, innovate and overcome them, so that generations will say that we saw challenges and overcame them. Through digitalization, more can be done. I believe that the better days of our nation is ahead of us, and it cannot be behind us. So together, building on the legacy of other governments, we'll create a better and more robust education system that can change the socio-economic fortunes of our country. The South Koreans have done it. The Singaporeans have done it. Vietnamese are now moving, and they are moving so fast. They are able to graduate 100,000 engineers every year. They have a 90 million population, and we are 30 million plus. If they can do 100,000 engineers, how many are we doing a year? We are doing 6,500. On average, we should be doing 30,000 plus. So companies are now...
He further outlined his ministry's policy of allowing non-science secondary school graduates to pursue engineering courses at universities through the pre-engineering program.
Use a ministerial directive and tell the universities to accept them. They are going to lambast me left and right and insult me. I said, do you think this is America? So I had to do what Americans do in bringing about innovation. I created a grant program, and I asked the universities, do you want to allow the young men and women who did not do science in high school to come to your university and do 1 year pre-engineering program, and in case they are good enough, allow them to come and do engineering? And if your answer is yes, come for money. And almost all of them submitted the application for money.
The president of Lakeside University, Dr. Mohammed Sani Abdullahi, prescribed a way that can be employed to solve the problem of betting among students.
And we do a virtual hackathon. The virtual hackathon will have an innovation space, And that's where we expect all those people who are doing better to feature in. They should feature in that innovation space. Right? Then we have a problem space. The problem space is where industry will feature, government will feature. Any problem that they have in the government space, in the industrial space, you will come and feature in the problem space.
On his part, the chairman of Tertiary Council, Hanis Afan, advised students to form anti-betting clubs in their various schools to become ambassadors in the fight against betting among students.
Now, our problem here is gambling. So you're going to repeat after me. Say no to gambling. Ready, go. Say no to gambling. I didn't hear you. Say no to gambling. I didn't hear you. Say no to gambling. We're going to do it together. I want you to rock this one. Ready, go. Say no to gambling. When you go to a school, that's exactly the message that you got out of Barack Obama.
Na Al-Hassan Andani said to achieve the various sustainable development goals under education, betting among students must be stopped.
It doesn't make sense for you to introduce foreign companies into your economy. That will destroy the future of your country, which is almost turning your youth into opioid, betting agents who will not be part of the future. And the CDs or shillings that they use, you will have to find foreign currency for them to the country. Read, only for 21% sports betting tax. I think, again, for us, on the Barakat Policy Institute.
In the end, a student shared his perspective of the lecture with Beina TV.
We've learned a lot today. What we learned today is that betting is not good. And we have to fight against betting so that we might not engage in activities which might cause our goal to be destroyed. In this life, all of us want to achieve more things that will make us very successful in this world. So we have to fight against betting and advise all our friends to stop betting and the rest, and also find solutions which will stop us from.
Away from education, the new Patriotic Party parliamentary candidate, hopefully for Ayawaso North constituency, has indicated his plans to make education his utmost priority when he is elected as the Member of Parliament for the Ayawaso North constituency in the forthcoming general election of 2024. Alhaji Manaf Muhammad Usman made the promise during a delegate and media engagement on 30th November 2023 at Mamobi in Accra.
The delegate and media engagement was to afford Alhaji Manaf Usman the opportunity to present his manifesto to delegates of the new Patriotic Party in the constituency and to convince them to vote for him during the parliamentary primaries to be held on the 2nd of December 2023. Alhaji Manaf, who is seeking to contest the parliamentary elections in the constituency for the second time, promised to make education his priority if elected as a Member of Parliament for the constituency. According to him, education is the wheel of all developmental goals. He pledged further to place more emphasis on girl-child education.
Education in this fast-growing world, which is the wheel of all shades of development, will be prioritized under my leadership. By establishing technical and vocational training centers in the constituency, interested residents will be accorded the opportunity to learn a trade. This will go a long way to reduce crime and other negative activities in the community. Children of school-going age will also be encouraged to go to school. This will be done through constant engagement with parents via meetings at the electoral area levels. This is in accordance with the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which states,
categorically that acquisition of knowledge is compulsory for every Muslim man, Muslim or man or woman Muslim. Second, a scholarship scheme for brilliant but needy children will be put in place under a benevolent organization. To buy into the idea of Dr. James Kwadwo Aggrey, one of the founders of the Achimota School, that when you educate a man, you have educated an individual. But when you educate a woman, you have educated a nation. Therefore, emphasis will be placed on the girl-child education. On Islamic education, an Islamic scholarship scheme to study in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states will be put in place for a student from each of the Islamic schools in their community. Sanitation is the collection, transport, treatment of disposable or reuse of human, etc., domestic waste matter, and solid waste, and associated hygiene promotion. As it goes, cleanliness is next to godliness. Sanitation will never be compromised under my watch as the Member of Parliament for the Ayawaso North constituency, inshallah. More than half of the people living in developing countries do not have access to even a basic toilet. This presents a major risk to public health. Diseases attributed to poor sanitation currently kill more children globally than AIDS, malaria, and measles, but put together. And diarrhea is the single biggest killer of children in Africa. For this reason, my administration will encourage and assist in the provision of a toilet facility for every household in the constituency. This will curb the indiscriminate defecation into gutters or football pitches and in alleys, popularly known as lungu. It will also reduce the pressures at the public places of convenience that are meant for visitors to the locality. A monthly clean-up exercise will be obligatory in the constituency. This will not be a 9-day wonder as experienced in the past.
Alhaji Manaf also promised to deal with the issues of health, infrastructure deficit in the constituency, employment, amongst other needs of the constituency. As far as the welfare of party members is concerned, he promised to provide 1 commercial bus and 3 taxi cabs to the constituency so that proceeds earned from them would be used to care for delegates in time of need. The chairman of the constituency, Mr. Ano, promised to take good care of the vehicles donated to the constituency by Alhaji Manaf Muhammad Osman, and also urged the delegates to vote massively for Alhaji Manaf so that together they work hard to win the seat from the National Democratic Congress.
In this contest, vehicles will be made available for prompt collection of the refuse mass up from the exercise to the main dump sites.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament has rescheduled the approval of the 2024 budget to Thursday, December 7, 2023. This follows a directive by the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Baldwin. The decision was taken after the Majority Caucus abandoned Parliament on Thursday, November 30.
Parliament was expected to conduct a head-out on the approval of the 2024 budget on November 30th, 2023. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, on Wednesday, November 29th, declared a voice vote on the approval of the budget in favor of the majority after the conclusion of the debate. However, the minority caucus challenged the ruling and opted for a head count, forcing the majority group to stage a walkout. The Speaker subsequently suspended sitting and later returned to adjourn proceedings. An indication on the order paper of Parliament suggested that the head count would be conducted, but in Parliament on Thursday, the Speaker said the 2024 budget is still before them, but it has been rescheduled for Monday. Meanwhile, the minority caucus accused the majority of running away from the House, saying for the second time they have run away from their own policy.
Still on politics, a new poll conducted by Global Info Analytics has revealed that former President John Dramani Mahama is likely to win the Zongo communities in the 2024 general elections. The poll, which was sampled from 7 constituencies with a large Zongo population, had the National Democratic Congress flag bearer beating Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
The poll published on Wednesday, November 29, 2023, had Mr. Mahama of the opposition, National Democratic Congress, polling 73.1% of respondent votes, while his closest contender, Dr. Bawumia of the ruling New Patriotic Party, polled 21.2%. The third position was split between independent candidate Alan Tremantin and Dr. Sam Ankra. Kofi Akpalo polled 0.0%, while both Kwabena Andrews and Hassan Ayariga polled 0.1%. However, 0.4% of the respondents said they would vote for a different candidate. The constituencies involved in the poll were Madina, Ashaiman, Ablekuman Central, Ayawaso East, Ayawaso North, Ayawaso Central, and Asawase, with a total sample size of 2,745, while the margin of error pegged at 2.41%. According to Global Info Analytics, interviews for the poll was conducted between November 23rd and November 28th, and the confidence level in the result is 99%.
In other story, the Rapid Response Unit of the Forestry Commission on Wednesday, 29 November 2023, arrested 10 illegal miners in the Enyuaso East Forest Reserve in the Bibiani district. The 2 excavators and other operational equipment used by the illegal miners were also confiscated during the operation.
The operation was to flush out illegal miners who had entered the reserve with heavy machinery and were destroying the forest cover and polluting water bodies with their illegal mining operations, which are believed to be backed by some political authorities in the district. The armed unit of the commission swooped in on the miners in a surprise move, arresting 10 of them. The team completely destroyed 2 excavators and 2 heavy-duty electrical plants found at the illegal mining site. The suspects were sent to the Dunkwao police station for security reasons. They will be transported later to the appropriate police jurisdiction in the Western North region to face full rigors of the law. The coordinator of the Rapid Response Unit at the Forestry Commission headquarters, Samuel Dako Akono, has issued a strong warning to all perpetrators to put a stop to such criminal activities, adding that the unit is ever prepared to carry the fight to them in order to save the forest and water bodies.
The Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana has cancelled its planned strike. This was as a result of a meeting with the National Labour Commission on Wednesday, November 29, to address concerns about their condition of service. The General Secretary of the Ghanaian Mortuary Workers Association, Richard Kofi Jordan, gave an assurance that the employees would keep on rendering their services.
The mortuary workers went on strike on Tuesday in response to unresolved concern about their working conditions, which include low pay, unfavorable working conditions, and lack of personal protective equipment. Calling off the strike by the association is a relief for Ghanaians who depend on morticians to deliver basic services. In order to address the concern of the workers and stop further strikes, the government has been urged to collaborate with Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana.
Also, the minority in parliament has accused the government of Nana Akufo-Addo for imposing not less than 50 taxes since 2017. The minority leader, Dr. Castle Atuforsen, made the accusation on Wednesday, November 29, 2023, at the end of the 2024 budget debate in parliament.
According to the minority leader, Kaisel Atuforsen, the over 50 taxes have only made Ghanaians' already terrible situations worse, since businesses are already falling due to Ghana's high cost of doing business. He claimed the minority in parliament cannot support the 2024 budget because of certain new taxes. Likewise, they are unable to support these new taxes due to the 5.5 billion Ghana cedis, which is $449 million in tax exemptions that are currently pending before the Finance Committee.
Again, the Passport Office is experiencing serious logistical challenges that makes it impossible to meet the growing demands of clients. Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Kweku Apranchum Sapon, says that as a result of those challenges, the office is only able to issue 3,000 passports daily out of the 5,000 clients who applied for the documents, leaving a backlog of 2,000 applications each day.
Mr. Ampram Chum Sapon, who disclosed this at a press conference to update the media on passport and consular services in Accra yesterday, said, coupled with the increasing number of applicants, the office was unable to process applications in a timely manner. He said, although the staffs worked about 10 hours each day, they were unable to clear the backlog because they did not have the needed resources to work efficiently, and all that creates room for corruption. According to him, the passport office is unable to take the biometric data as the people may expect because they do not have enough computers to do the capturing, and they are not able to print booklets because of inadequate printers to meet the demand. The deputy minister attributed the situation to the cost of passports, which he said was highly subsidized by the government, making it the cheapest to acquire in West Africa. He said the resources that should have been channeled in purchasing equipment to facilitate timely delivery of services had been put into subsidies, leaving the office with limited resources to work with despite growing demands. It has been estimated that the cost of printing a Ghanaian passport is $8, while in Liberia, where is the next cheapest, is $40. Meanwhile, it is the same company that supplies passports to both Ghana and Liberia. He said the ministry was in consultation with other stakeholders, including the Ministry of Finance and Parliament, to discuss how they could ensure an upward review of passport application fees to improve on the turnaround time. Mr. Ampram Chum Sapon said some measures had been put in place at various passport application centers to help streamline activities following the unannounced visit by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Shirley Ayoko Boche, in August this year to some of the centers. He said as part of efforts to speed up the printing and delivery of passports to applicants, the office acquired 2 Dialiter 900i manual printers this year, which had led to the clearing of a backlog of about 310,513 passports as of last Friday. The deputy minister also said that there had been an upgrade of the passport processing software at the passport office, including the installation of automated access controls, CCTV cameras, and issuance of identification tags to staffs to help reduce overcrowding at the center. Additionally, officers who had been at post for more than 12 months have been recalled, reducing the incidence of middlemen. The deputy minister further said that the ministry, in collaboration with the Ghana Immigration Service had completed the installation of a machine-readable visa hardware and the training of officers at 13 of Ghana's missions abroad.
And finally, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Laruba Zuera Abudu, has advocated for a coordinated national effort to end gender-based violence. The minister emphasized the need for coordinated action to address gender-based violence during the 16 Days of Activism campaign launched in Tamale.
The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection claimed that despite increased efforts to address the problem, traditional and cultural norms continue to interfere in the life of many citizens, and that is why violence against women and girls persist, especially in northern Ghana. Meanwhile, the Ghana Statistical Service has reported that initial results from the forthcoming 2022 Ghana Demographic and Health Survey report shows that 41.6% of women between the age of 15 and 49 who have ever had an intimate partner have at least once been the victim of intimate partner violence. Feeling, physical and sexual violence are all included in this category. The preliminary statistics on violence against women, which were released by the GSS on Friday, November 24, 2023, included this information. It was highlighted during the service that 35.2% of the women had at least one episode of emotional abuse, 22.7% had at least one incident of physical abuse, and 11.2% had at least one instance of sexual abuse.
And this is it for our weekend news update. For more stories, log on to our website www.bainamultimedia.com. I'm Khadija Tukubra Keilani. Many thanks for doing the watching. Have a good evening.